Let's cover the UAW. It's a beautiful thing. I call it Twitter. People are saying this is X. This is X. When I still type in Twitter and it goes to Twitter. But I guess this is the X now, I guess. I thought that was just branding. I had no idea they were going to change the URL. Like I said, I wish all unions were like this. And I think this is one more day. It's tomorrow, the 14th. The UAW guys say something so shocking, I guess so jarring to Jake Tapper that he just taps out of the interview. He goes, that's it for me. So they snuck this in sort of under CNN Business. And I'm not, it says UAW president says auto strike will hurt mostly billionaire class. I wonder how the billionaire class, what they think when they see something like this. Now, the clip is in this article. That's why I have to go here to play it. It's not on their normal website.
4 days or else. We are just 4 days away from more than 140,000 union workers possibly going on strike against the big three automakers. Those are Ford,
love this interview,
General Motors, and Stellantis. Stellantis is the international company that now owns Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler. Now, those contracts expire just before midnight.
I'm still here, everybody.
Thursday
Don't
night.
worry. Just turn the
Among
camera
the
off for a second.
issues the union is pushing for are a shorter work week and a 40% hourly wage increase over the course of 4 years. We're joined now by United Auto Workers President Shawn Fain. Shawn, thanks for joining us. A week ago when you spoke with my colleague Bianca Goladriga on the lead, you said the big three hadn't even put any counter proposals on the table. Now, since then, my understanding is that they have. Ford and GM have offered a 10% pay hike. Stellantis offered a 14.5% pay hike. There's other stuff there as well. Does UAW have a counter?
Yeah, we've been countering. We've been meeting. And first off, thanks for having us on here, Jake. Yeah, we've been meeting. We met through the weekend. First off, I want to say it's a shame that we gave our economic demands to these companies well over a month ago, almost 5 weeks ago, and didn't hear anything. And from the onset of bargaining, we've told them we want to do things differently, and we do not expect them to wait till the last minute and then want to settle everything. And so, unfortunately, they didn't heed our advice. They waited till the last week. We had to file ULPs at 2 companies to get them moving. And so, we've made a little bit of progress. It's still slow, but we're moving. We have a long way to go.
What other sticking points are there? Obviously, 10 and 14.5% raises are not 40%, but other than that, what other sticking points?
Other than that big thing.
Well, I mean, wage increases, cost of living allowance, job security for our members, and our members are being left behind, not just with the transition to EV, but just with product placement, retirement security. So there's a lot of issues feeding into this, and that's why we, like as I said up front, we pushed the companies that we wanted to get serious early, so we didn't come down to the wire and have to settle a lot of things to the last minute. Unfortunately, that's where we are. That's where the companies chose to put us, and we'll see how the next 3 days play out.
Is this an industry-wide strike? In other words, is it possible you might come to terms with one of the big three and strike the other two? Or is it just all three or nothing?
We have been firm with all 3 companies that September 14th is a deadline, not a reference point. And so, we expected to get agreements by the.
So I do think that means midnight tonight. I believe that's what that means. So it's today or later tonight.
14th. If we get an agreement with the company by the 14th, that's great for them. But, if there's other companies still out there, then there will be action. We have never wavered on that. We've been firm about that from day one. So there's no excuse to not be there.
When you spoke with the lead a week ago, you made some headlines by declining to say when or if you will endorse President Biden for.
Now, ask yourself this question. What is the use of this question here? Why are you pivoting anything about an election when we're talking about labor? So are you sort of unmasking yourself as far as you're trying to say you're only interested in this conversation in the framework of, are you going to endorse Joe Biden? I don't get the purpose of this. Why are we pivoting to an election when you're talking about the president of the UAW? Why is it your task, is another question. Why is it your task to try to get an endorsement out of him for Biden? Why isn't the question, are you going to endorse any president? Why are you asking him specifically about Biden? Let's listen.
For re-election, saying that the union's endorsement has to be earned. I assume, is that still how things stand?
Yeah, I mean, it's we have a lot of work ahead of us, a lot to be done, and as we say, our endorsements are going to be earned, not freely given, and actions are going to dictate endorsements. So we'll see how things continue to play out, and we have a lot of issues to resolve. I mean, there's a lot with the EV transition that has to happen, and
these interviews, you can always, I don't know if it's you, but I always sense a level of tension that I'm sensing with, I think it's Jake Tapper, with this guy right now, because he has to have the ability to appear like he's not here to savage the person that represents workers on behalf of capitalists. He has to appear like, yeah, what's going on? When he's really here to try to savage this guy, depending on his answers. Jake Tapper is in no way trying to see what the issue is so that we can get this resolved in workers' favor. Let's continue. I got a little more, but he says some more that I want to include before I say that.
Hundreds of billions of our taxpayer dollars that are helping fund this, and workers cannot continue to be left behind in that equation.
President Biden considers himself to be the most pro-labor president ever. Do you see him that way?
Why are you the representative for Biden to even ask this question? Biden is not no pro. This is the mental jiu-jitsu you have to believe to think that Biden is the most pro-labor president when he breaks the strike at the same time. Do you understand that? The highest level of not being for labor is breaking the strike. Is there anything higher than that? What's higher than breaking a strike to be considered anti-worker? So how can it be both? How can you be the best pal to labor and break strikes? How can you be a part of the theater when they pretended to have a tentative agreement that never was? So they can buy time for the election in 2022? Like what? And to the point that I was saying, if you look at Jake Tapper, he wants to say other things like, you fucking worker, take your ass back to work. Like my bosses say, like my overlords say, but he has to be reserved and you can see it in their faces. When they're hearing what they're hearing, watch especially when he gets to the stuff about wrecking the economy, he taps out. They're going back and forth. Then he goes, oh no, I can't even say nothing to that. Because if I combat that, I'm going to fully appear what I'm here to be, what I'm here to represent, and that's for the capitalist class. But let's listen to another minute and a half here.
I think there's a lot of work to be done in that category. I mean, I look back at FDR and presidents such as that time frame, and that did a lot of work for labor. But I don't want to turn this into a debate about President Biden. That's really not what we're here about. I'm here to talk about our members and where we've got to go. So
he had to refocus.
Analysts say a prolonged strike will push up auto prices and dramatically hurt the
analysts. This is a tactic, a classic. These are one of the classic propaganda tactics. Is that because you can't just say people, you have to give an expert, a title, a judge, a law enforcement, somebody that has authority. You go analysts. experts say. Who? Capitalists? Who are you talking about, Jake?
The economy. Are you worried about either of those possibilities?
Let me rewind it so I can hear this
Members
part.
and where we've got to get. So
Analysts say a prolonged strike will push up auto prices and dramatically hurt the economy. Are you worried about either of those possibilities?
Now, if analysts told you you could melt cheese in the freezer because an expert or analyst says that, that means that's true? Because we need to break down his question and not just assume his question. Let me rewind it and play it.
about our members and where we've got to get. So
Analysts say a prolonged strike will push up auto prices and dramatically.
One, analysts say that. How is that connected? How is that connected? What you're skipping over in your description, because what you're describing, Jake, you're talking about greed. That's the part you're missing, because it's nowhere written in this system where if you pay your workers more, you have to raise your prices. Unless you're talking about to ensure your profit margins are not affected. Remember what I said? Greed. So, yes, they will raise their prices on vehicles to recoup whatever employee wages they pay, or whatever increase in employee wages they give. They'll recoup that by raising it on the customer. Nowhere says they have to do that. So why is the question framed as this an automatic? As if, oh, no, it's no levers, like it just happens automatic. But anyway, belabor the point. Let's go.
Dramatically hurt the economy. Are you worried about either of those possibilities?
Fuck no.
you know, it's amazing to me how analysts.
Oh, I forgot this part. Like I said, breaking down the question before you even get to the answer.
A prolonged strike will push up auto prices and dramatically hurt the economy. Are you
Push up auto prices, I address, dramatically hurt the economy. What state is the economy in now? Is the economy is hunky-dory right now? What state is the economy in right now, Jake Tapper? Who can afford car auto prices right now, Jake Tapper? So when he says it'll hurt the economy, think about the concept of economy. When they say economy, are they talking about the wages of workers? Or when they say economy, are they talking about the profits of capitalists? This is why they can say Bidenomics is going great. Economy's going great. Look, low unemployment. Look, stock market's doing good. How does that indicators that workers are doing good? And this is an example I'm going to be using moving forward. You know what else? If unemployment is an indicator, they're markers. The point that I'm trying to make here is they're markers to indicate what's a good economy, are markers to indicate how well the owner class is doing. They're not markers on how the worker class is doing at all. And you would think, well, no, that's unemployment. No, it's not. Because let me give you this example. You know when they had the best unemployment rate, like damn near zero, if not zero? Slavery. American slavery. Unemployment was at zero. Does that mean the economy was doing good for workers? Fuck out of here. Let's continue. This is nonsense. And you see what these corporate shields on these networks are here to do. Quasi ask questions as if they care about workers, but really they're getting to the meat and potatoes, trying to make you seem like you're the unreasonable one, labor.
Are you worried about either of those possibilities?
You know, it's amazing to me how analysts, when workers ask for their fair share, it's always the end of the world. And, no one, the last 4 years in general, okay, in the last decade, these companies made $250 billion in profit. In the last 6 months alone, they made $21 billion in profit. In the last 4 years, the price.
How the hell are you making $250 billion? A quarter. Think about that, people. Think about that. Think about our economic system and if it was different. If the workers own the means of production, the workers at this company is producing value of $250 billion. How isn't every single employee a multimillionaire? How is that? Better question. How is it that workers make you $250 billion, and then when they say give me a raise, you say fuck off? I don't even understand how is that even a good sort of like business model. The people, the most valuable thing you have as a business owner, the people who are doing the work, make you $250,000. You can't throw them, an extra $5 trillion. An extra $5 billion in wages, an extra 10 trillion. 10 billion in wages. I just don't understand capitalism as an economic model. If you're not paying workers enough money to buy the product, where are you getting your customers from? Let's back it up and let him answer the question again, uninterrupted by CJ.
It's amazing to me how analysts, when workers ask for their fair share, it's always the end of the world. And, no one, the last 4 years in general, in the last decade, these companies made $250 billion in profit. In the last 6 months alone, they made $21 billion in profit. In the last 4 years, the price of cars went up 30%. CEO pay went up 40%. No one said a word. No one had any complaints about that. But now, God forbid that workers actually ask for their fair share of equity in the fruits of the labor and the product they produce.
Did you see the change in Jake Tapper's face? Jake Tapper was listening to him. And you can see his demeanor change because it's a realization. There's no way I can combat this. There's no way I don't have a response for this. That's the realization you see in Jake Tapper's face. And now you can see it in the still shot here. Look at that. He's like, I'm over it. I'm over this interview. And look before. So let's listen.
21 billion in profit. In the last 4 years, the price of cars went up 30%.
He's gonna realize I'm done with this.
No one said a word. No one had any complaints about that.
Right there.
But now, God forbid that workers actually ask for their fair share of equity in the fruits of the labor and the product they produce, and all of a sudden it's the end of the world. So if the talking heads, the pundits, the companies want to say that if we strike, it can wreck the economy. It's not that we're going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy, the economy that only works for the billionaire class. It doesn't work for the working class.
Hear that, analysts? All right, UAW President Shawn Fain, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it, sir.
He's realizing, damn, this is a union that has not been co-opted, maybe. Fuck. This is not a union leadership that's trying to propose a sellout contract, you bastard. One of them got through, and we're going to see. We're going to see. Party for Socialism and Liberation's tweet says 150,000 auto workers are preparing to go on strike if the massively profitable big three U.S. automakers don't deliver a fair contract to UAW workers. Auto workers will shut down the entire U.S. auto industry. We went to the Detroit Labor Day parade to hear from workers themselves, and this is just some words from workers.
Those CEO jobs, those are the jobs that could be automated.
That's right. Get them out of there.
Yeah, get them out of there.
And they don't realize whether you corporate management, all of that. If it wasn't for the people you see walking in this parade, they wouldn't have a check either, would they?
This year, Labor Day is falling on the eve of what could be one of the biggest labor showdowns in recent memory. In just 10 days, the contracts between the big three U.S. auto companies, GM, Stellantis, and Ford, and over 150,000 UAW members will expire. If the big three auto companies don't come to the table and reach a fair agreement, auto workers will strike and effectively bring the entire auto industry to a grinding halt. We're here at the Labor Day Parade in Detroit, the potential epicenter of this battle and the home of the big three automakers, to talk to workers about their fight.
Ready for war. Ready for war, baby. Whatever it takes.
Ready for war. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Committee person. I'm a committee person.
Okay.
We got some stewards in the back, and we're ready.
These CEOs and these corporations and companies are making billions and trillions off of our backs, and the workers who are there every single day putting their foot forward for the company need to be recognized for that.
We are just like the nurses, the doctors, the lawyers, UPS, Starbucks, and everybody. We all need some money because we all take care of everybody.
Loved it. Love it. Love when they get actual workers. That's why I love it wasn't this clip, it was another clip I saw on this. This is not the only one they put out. Here goes some of the members' demands. Let's look and see this here. This is a good thread. Let's watch this part here.
Among the United Auto Workers' core demands include the end of the two-tier wage system, a pay increase that matches or exceeds the 40% pay increase the big three CEOs have gotten in the last 4 years, cost of living adjustments, defined pensions, and stronger protections around plant closures. The big three have called these demands unrealistic, but are they? In the last 10 years, the big three auto giants have made $250 billion in profit. In addition to the CEO raises, shareholder payouts have also increased. At Ford alone, investors have seen a 150% increase in dividend payments. Any honest look at the numbers shows that the big three are happy to share their profits with anyone who's already rich, but not the workers who generated them.
And these CEOs are now coming back and saying, oh, well, the UAW's got to be realistic. The workers have to be realistic. What's your response to that?
Well, define what realistic is. Is it realistic to make over $250 billion?
We've had quite a few, people's fingers getting smashed, backs, trucks hitting people on the head. It's all kind of injuries that you can get building these trucks. Whether it's Ford, GM, doesn't matter. We're in there every day putting our bodies into the mere trucks that everybody is driving every day in cars.
In 2008, 2009, when the big three were in dire straits, they came to us and we opened our contract back up and gave them a lot of things that we're trying to get back now to help them stay afloat for the, live to fight another day type of scenario, right? So we did that, and now we're asking for those things back, right? Over a decade later.
Wow. I mean, it shows you what the employer thinks of you when you're a family member when they need your help. They don't know you when you need their help. You're a family member. Okay, come on, family member. We're all family here. Stay a little overtime. What's going on with that Ray? I don't know you.